This was the first episode of Survivor that legitimately made me cry. Hey, it's Ty Screams, and I'm about to give you a recap of what happened on season 48, episode 5 of Survivor. Again, we're back at Vula after a tribal council, and both Joe and Shaheen are feeling awful that Thomas went home. Kyle is trying to do some damage control because he did end up playing that extra vote, and so now the vote is 2v2. Camilla and Kyle are in lockstep though, pretending that they don't have an alliance moving forward while also secretly working with each other. Jumping right into a reward challenge, everyone is shocked that Thomas was voted out. And for the challenge, they'll throw some sandbags and to release some coconuts, bounce some balls into a basket, and then roll the balls into some holes. They'll be competing for a trip to the sanctuary for some breakfast foods. Lagi is first to the ball rolling, while Vula is fast behind. David is able to land the last ball, sending Lagi to the sanctuary. The challenge continues, and Siva catches up, but not quick enough, and Vula gets a small reward of pastries back at their camp. There's then some choice words from Say, feeling like Lagi was lacking tact, but then everybody heads out. At Siva, they're bummed about losing, but immediately start speculating what happened to Thomas. Bianca is feeling like less of a threat, and both Chrissy and Mitch see her threat level down with Thomas gone, while Say's threat level is definitely rising. The sanctuary is filled with pastries, juices, and David gets his milk. They get to talking, and Charity goes on and on about how she loves the experience of Survivor, but Eva is feeling weird about it. She doesn't trust her at all, especially moving into a part of the game where trust is everything. Vula is enjoying their much smaller reward of pastries and talking about how they've all experienced worse things and then trying to survive out there. They all share their stories, and it brings them a lot closer, forming a voting block going into the merge. That is, if they don't head to tribal council again. For the immunity challenge, they start in the ocean to pull a boat ashore, unbraid some rope to retrieve some keys, and then use the keys to unlock the balls used in a table maze. Lagi, of course, takes the lead and makes it to the table maze first. Vula and Siva catch up, and Vula is able to jump ahead and take immunity for the first time this season. Lagi was behind but is able to catch up, so now it's up to Eva to land the last ball. Siva ties it up, and Eva starts to get emotional. She takes a breath and has everyone behind her, so she locks in and wins immunity for Lagi. The weight of winning falls onto her, which causes an episode. Jeff then sends Joe over to calm Eva down, and it's a really beautiful moment. Jeff then asks about what happened, and Eva shares her stories about her autism and explains why Joe came in to help. Jeff even gets choked up and sheds a tear, a first in Survivor history. Back at Lagi, Eva is feeling like telling her story was the right decision. Star is feeling trusting of Eva after telling her story, so she tells everyone about the Beware advantage. The tribe then works together to solve it, and Eva figures it out, and Star is kind enough to let Eva keep the idol for figuring out the puzzle. At Siva, they debrief quickly but start to break off and immediately try to figure out how tribal council is going to go. Bianca has a plan to split the votes on Say and Chrissy. That way her lost vote does not matter, but just minutes before leaving for tribal, Bianca pulls Cedric aside and mentions that she doesn't have a vote, which starts to get the gears turning of what Cedric should do. Jeff starts tribal council by asking about Bianca just being the easy vote. There's some talk about how that's on the surface, but Survivor is always more complex than that. The tribe votes, and Jeff reads them. Say, Chrissy, Bianca, and Bianca, making her the 5th person voted out. She's crying, and the tribe is trying to figure out what happened, and Jeff snuffs her torch. This was a wild ride of an episode. Like, I was crying, and then I was screaming at my TV when Bianca was telling Cedric about how she doesn't have a vote. Like, I don't even know what happened, but seriously, what was your favorite part of the episode? Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next week for another recap of Survivor.